Hi everyone, it's Stacy from PeonyLaneDesigns.com. Have you subscribed to the channel yet? If not, click the link below. You're not going to want to miss it.
Don't forget to click the subscribe button, comment down below, like this video, and click the bell icon to be notified.
So I had somebody on my website, PeonyLaneDesigns.com, ask me about painting fabrics, and I had only at the time painted with chalk paint. I had not tried the acrylics. Recently I did a video painting leather with acrylic leather paint. I loved it. If you haven't seen that video, you gotta watch that video. Honest to God, it's one of my favorite new things. I am looking for a leather chair to redo now. And I will be doing vinyl with it as well. But I also wanted to try the acrylic paints for fabric. So not just leather, but they make fabric paint that's supposed to stay soft, and it's an acrylic. Now, Patty, who is on the lady who asked about it, specifically mentioned velvet. Now, I don't have a velvet chair. I have this. And you're like, Stacy, that's a frame. Yes, it's a frame with velvet matting. I have had this in my collection for a really long time, and frankly, I don't like it. This is a raised tin with acrylic flowers and butterflies. That part I like. This part I don't. And unfortunately, the person who framed it glued it into this section and then glued it into the frame. So to remove this would be a lot of extra effort. And if I can just improve it and mark it up and move it on, then that's better for me. So I'm going to be using the acrylic fabric paint on. The fabric paint that I bought is available on Amazon. I'll put a link below, an affiliate link to this actual paint. It came with 14 different colors. Okay, it says to shake it well and put 1 or 2 coats, thin coats on there after I took tape to prep it because I can't really wash it. What I did was I took tape and got all the dust and stuff off of it, and then I took a damp cloth and just kind of tried to wipe up as best I could. Okay, let's see. Try this area over here so you guys can see it on camera, but when I put it on, it's just going right in. Yeah, I'm so glad I didn't try that on a chair. What would have happened there? Oh, Lord. I'm gonna get you in close so you can see what I'm seeing and you can judge for yourself. Well, that clearly didn't work. Because I want to give it a fair trial, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this white cloth. I mean, it's as white can be. And I'm going to use the dark paint that they have in the kit, and I'm going to try it on there. I also went and got 2 from Jacquard. Now, I've heard Jacquard is good. It's an acrylic paint, fabric paint. I got one called Neopic or Neopic. I don't know how they pronounce it, and Lumiere. Both of them are by Jacquard. So I picked these up yesterday, and I'm going to try those as well. And we're going to see if any of them are any good. This is a white cotton upholstery fabric. It's been washed clearly. I washed it so there wouldn't be any coating on it. There wouldn't be anything affecting the test of these different acrylic fabric paints. And if that doesn't work, I have one more option. I have Angelus leather paint, not leather, obviously, but they do have an additive called Soft. It's a fabric medium. So I can mix this with this, and we'll try that if none of these work. So I'm giving it the best try I can, y'all. Like, if there's a paint better than chalk paint, or you do not want to use latex. It cracks like crazy on fabric. But if one of these acrylic ones will work, that would be awesome. Especially if you have a smaller piece and you don't want to like reupholster the whole thing. These do come in larger sizes. I picked up the small one to test out. I mean, I can always try them on. Actually, I have a purse I want to paint, so we're going to try that if it works. If one of these works out, you're going to see me paint a purse. So let's try it. Okay, I've got it laid out here and it's just the white fabric. I'm going to try the Neopic first. All right, and I'm just going to take this and just brush a line on it. At least this covers. I mean, this is covering just beautifully. Look at that. Look at the color on there. All right, so that one works, but we'll wait till it dries and see if it's soft or crunchy or if it cracks. I don't think it will. I mean, it's soaked in really good. All right, let's try this one. I'm kind of hoping this works because this is the one I want to use in my purse. It's a satin, like dressy purse, and I want a blue one. Oh, look at that. It's not as opaque, clearly. So you can't say during this test I didn't give these the best chance they would have. I'm now going to try this one, which is the one that I tried the white on the dark, and it did not work at all. It just soaked in and didn't do anything. So now we're going to try the blue on the white. And that works just fine. So you can't go light to dark, but you can go dark to light. And it covers pretty evenly. So all of the dark on the white look good. Let's see the bleed. The blue is bleeding worse than anything. The rest of them just sort of are sitting on the surface. We'll let that dry. And you know what? I do want to try. I want to try the white leather paint over the dark to see how that works. So let's give that a try. So what I'm going to do is, this is the Angelus leather paint. And because it really was a high pigment paint and it sat on the surface really nice, I want to try this over that dark frame without even using this, because the texture of that feels like a suede. Okay, like I said, I thought this was really highly pigmented, so I'm going to try it. Ooh, yeah, it's covering. It's covering. So the Angelus leather paint, I'm going to do the whole frame in white. So that's why I haven't taped it off, and I'm not too worried about it. This is like super pigmented. Doesn't, there we go. Doesn't brush real nice on this fabric. But this is going to work. Okay, here they all are. So here's the first one. Pretty soft. It's not crunching. See the pearl. Feels a little crunchier, but still very flexible. Not cracking at all. And the blue. Oh, not cracking. Look at that. So they're all pretty flexible. They do have a texture. Every single one of them has a weird texture, like very stiff, almost like canvas. So it's got like a canvas texture on it. Definitely sitting on top, clearly. They're not dye, they're paint. But it looks like, I mean, none of them are cracking. All of them seem like they would work on upholstery without having to, yeah, they're not transferring onto my hands. They don't feel like, okay, the spray, y'all know my feeling on the spray if you've watched the video. Feels like rubber. These do not feel like rubber. These feel like canvas. So they're not feeling like that weird rubbery texture. I can run my hands across it just fine. Nothing's coming off on my hands or my clothes, and I'm not sticking. It's not sticking to my hand at all. So any of these, I think if you were going over a light color, would be great. I'm guessing these would go over dark colors better. Let's find a dark fabric and try them. I pulled this out of my rag band. Let's give them a try on the dark. Clearly the light will not cover this. The white won't cover it, but let's try the dark over these and see how it handles patterns. I mean, the stripes show, The stripes show, they kind of show. Let's see how it does on the second coat. After 3 coats, this is what we have. So you can still see the stripes through the first one. The stripes are pretty well hidden through the second one, and the dark one doesn't seem to have covered it. The last one doesn't seem to have covered it at all. I'll let you guys judge on that one if you want to take a chance on pattern, but I would use the pearl. I was going to do a pattern, or this one, because I feel like after a couple more coats, this one would be actually better coverage than the first one that I ever tried. So unless you're doing really light, don't buy this one. Anyway, this one says for maximum softness that you should iron it after 24 hours of drying on both sides. And apparently that softens it. Obviously, if you're doing upholstery, you're not going to be able to iron it on both sides. But I pulled on it, I tugged on it, didn't seem to crack. It's not cracking. On the original one, I tugged it and pulled it, and it's still not cracking. This is an upholstery grade. And I pulled it to the sides, and I pulled it up and down, and it is not cracking. So yeah, I would use any of these on fabric. All of them seem to do what they say they're supposed to do. This one I would not use over a pattern, and I would only use over a very light fabric. These were really good, and I had been told they were really good, but you know, gotta try it out for myself. So now I think I'm going to use one of these, and I'm going to paint myself a purse. Okay, so the purse is drying back here, but you guys will see the finished product in the video at the end of the video. I would actually use this on upholstery. I am really impressed with the coverage for both of these jacquard products. So like the Neopic or Neopic, I don't know how they pronounce it. This would be great on upholstery if you didn't want like you can see this has got the shimmer on it of the Lumiere. I had not tried acrylics, like straight on acrylics. I tried the spray. I didn't like the spray. I have used chalk paint. Chalk paint's awesome. It works. You have to clear it, and then it becomes like leather. This just stays the consistency of a canvas. So I'm quite impressed with this product. This product worked as well. As you know, if you watched this channel before, that opens up a whole new avenue of furniture repair. And I'm so excited, like updating furniture pieces that are covered in fabric is difficult for me because I'm not an upholsterer, and I've been painting them with chalk paint, but now this just gives it a different texture and a different feel. So if I don't want it to have like a leathery feel to it, I can use one of these products. That always makes me happy when I find products that work like they say they're gonna work. So yeah, definitely get some of the acrylic fabric paints because they're working great. And you can see I'm ready to use shoes, satin shoes, purses. There's gonna be a lot of painting going on in my wardrobe. I mean, I could paint a hat. I could paint this hat. We could give this a little love. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you haven't yet gotten your Happy Junkin or Junkin Buddy sweatshirt along with our other shirts, you had me at Junkin and Super Junker, then click the links below. It supports me, it supports this channel, it helps me pay for these things. So I really appreciate everyone who's purchased their sweatshirts and t-shirts. Also, if you go to my Etsy shop and make a purchase of some wonderful vintage items, that supports this channel too. So thank you for watching, everyone. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. And as always, happy junkin'. Bye.
Visit my blog, peonylanedesigns.com, for more tips, tricks, and inspiration. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll be notified of new videos. I post every week DIY tutorials and, of course, more Junkin videos.